Hello, my name is Joshua Goodman. Welcome to A Goodman's Tale. Goodman's Tale is a place where we can come and discuss, talk about, unpack our life story. The good, the bad, the ugly, the high times, the low times, the mountain times, the valley times, the challenges, the struggles, all of the things that we face, the times of joy, peace, and harmony. So I want to thank you today for joining me here at A Goodman's Tale. As always, remember that if this episode has been an encouragement to you, to like, share, and also subscribe. Today's word of the day comes from Proverbs 18:24, where it says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother." The word friend in the New Testament really is tied around the word that one of our most famous American cities is named after, the word phileo. We get the word Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And that word phileo is to be a friend to have affection for, an attachment, a sentiment, or a feeling, a close intertwining together. With that being said, want to welcome to the studio today one of my best friends, Gregorio Concepcion, if I can say that right now. Known Greg, goodness sake, how long have we known each other, bro?
Jeez, dude.
Planted a church, so what, 15, maybe 15?
15,
17 years? Yeah, goodness sake. I tell you what, how old is Diamond?
Diamond is 20.
Yeah, so she was like maybe 3 or 4 when we first met. That's crazy. And you got to figure, you look back at even back in the day, us planting Pursuit together. We'll get more into that when we start talking about our life story and stuff. Let's open up with a couple of icebreaker questions. And these questions are going to be morbid, and then we're going to go to the other extreme of very joyful. So if you had a choice on whether you had to choose to be blind or deaf, which would you choose and why?
I'd probably be deaf.
Yeah, I think I'd probably choose deaf too.
Yeah, because I don't know if I could go one day
Without seeing. Yeah.
Without seeing
I'm a visual person. I mean, even when it comes to the next question, I'm going to ask you about food. Even my relationship with food, has a great deal to do with sight. I don't know. Let's think about if I had to be deaf or mute. Mute wouldn't be good for me because I'm a pastor, and that's kind of my livelihood.
Oh yeah.
So I think of all of my senses that I would, if I could choose, right? Mm-hmm. One sense to do without. Well, I mean, no. See, I was going to say tasting, smelling, but those things again, I don't know. I think probably the one I choose out of all of them is just deafness. I don't know. So this one, more challenging question. If you could choose between the best steak that you've ever tasted or $500, which would you?
Definitely $500.
You take the $500, really?
Yep.
Now, but keep in mind, the best steak you've ever tasted.
Yeah.
If you were walking in with the guarantee that you've never tasted a steak this good, and you will never taste a steak this good again,
right?
Still the $500.
Yes.
What about $100?
Yes.
You take the $100.
Take the $100.
$50.
I don't know.
So that's your buy rate. That's what it costs.
Yeah. I mean, because
well, at a fancy restaurant, if there's that's what you're gonna spend $40 or $50 on it.
Yeah. I mean, but if you go to the extreme with $500, it's like if I eat this steak, it blesses me.
Yeah.
It's kind of a selfish thing.
Yeah.
But if I take $500, I can bless a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking much more selfishly than that. I'm like, I would probably.
We need $50 though. I was like, no, a steak like that would cost that much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. and I think so. For me, I would have to have the guarantee, and I'd have to know that the guarantee is reliable, that it would indeed be the best steak I've ever had, of like a life-changing steak. Then I might take. Honestly, I might take the steak over the $500, just because it is a monumental moment, a moment that you would never experience again.
Right, it's like a last meal
experience. Yeah. But like you said, that's a very selfish me thing, whereas with $500, I could, bless a bunch of people that I'm around. So let's just jump in and begin talking about. First of all, thanks for being at Goodman's Tale. Let's talk about your story. Married, kids, grandkids. Give us the lowdown.
Well, yeah, married, second marriage.
Second marriage.
Yeah. I learned a lot of things from the first marriage.
Yep.
It helped me keep the second marriage. Kids, kids are doing great, and I'm just starting to grow a relationship back with the kids.
Yeah.
Because of all the foolishness that
from the divorce.
The divorce, and all the fruit from the divorce.
Gotcha.
Soured.
Tell me about your kids. You got how many kids? And
four. I got 4 biological and 2 stepkids.
Wow, very cool.
My oldest is 25 and my youngest is 20. And technically my youngest is 13.
Yeah.
And then I've got one boy in the family, and he's 22 now.
Yeah, and is he military, college?
No, he's kind of like at a standstill right now. He's not sure what he wants to do.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And before I was very pushy on him of what to do.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do. But I noticed it didn't go. It didn't really do anything.
Well, I remember because when he was in high school, he was in ROTC, and so I had assumed that he would just continue to follow that kind of path. But
later on, what I found out was he was doing the things that he was doing to please me and not himself. You know, when I was trying to live my life through him, and he was just trying to live his life without making me upset.
Well, and a boy, as he enters into manhood, he's got to really take on that of being the man he wants to be.
Yeah.
Grandbabies. Talk to me, Johnny.
Oh man, I've got 5 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. The granddaughter is from the boy she's up in New York, and all the grandsons are here with me.
Who's up in New York?
Layla.
Layla?
I think her name is Layla.
No, is that Step?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know her.
Oh,
you know
gotcha.
What I mean?
Gotcha.
It was like they had like some kind of tango.
Okay.
And that's another thing that me and him got a lot of fighting about because I didn't stand for that. I was like, you need to handle your business, and I was talking about stuff like how we grew up, the reason why we grew up, and the reason why we made certain dips that we made, certain sacrifices that we made, because we didn't way in the world we wanted our children mind.
Yeah.
And there's her, and then there's the boys. And I mean, the oldest is Abel, and then you got Isaiah, and
you got a brand new one. What? 3 months?
Jordan.
Yep. How old is Jordan? What? 3?
Jordan
4?
about what?
3 months? 2
months, something like
because
that.
I know he was at the October thing, and it was maybe maybe a couple weeks old or something then. So, yeah, 2.5, 3 months old. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. And so that's your babies. You've got a very interesting bloodline too. So where are your people from?
Oh wow, man, it's kind of hard because
I know, right? Yeah,
I'm like 29 in me.
Yeah,
it's kind of like my mom is from Robinson County.
Yeah, okay. She is Lumbee then.
She is Lumbee Indian, and the thing is that bloodline is strange itself because I've got cousins that are blonde haired, blue eyed, and I've got cousins that look like black folk, and I got cousins that look like Indians. You know what I mean? And that's strange. And then you've got my father on this side.
Well, let's not even get into the Guamanian because you got to figure that Lumbee bloodline, though, interesting because they are of a French and Native American kind of bloodline. And so you could end up with, like you said, virtually anything.
Yeah.
And then your dad?
My dad, that's another one. I mean, his grandmother is half Chinese, half Guamanian.
Half Guamanian. Now, was he actually born in Guam?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then his mother was half Irish and part Chinese and part Guamanian, and his dad was like straight, like just deep dark Guamanian. Yeah.
So that's crazy because my bloodline, right? Yeah, that's exciting. That's fun. You got Chinese, you got Native American, you got me. I'm like, so right. I did my DNA thing. I'm like 40% British, 20% Irish, 10% Scottish and 10% Norse or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, so basically, I am the gold standard of being just white. I'm like clear, see-through. That's right. All I get. You know, I am the. It's like I got nothing fun in there. Nothing exotic. Nothing. No, it's just straight. There you go. That's all you get. The one exciting part of my bloodline is the Norse. I can say, okay, my people were. Yeah, Vikings. And, yeah, grrr, right.
Land, man.
Yeah, right. But that's about all that I have. So tell us. You say you got kids. You got grandkids, married, divorced. What in all of that? I'm going to ask you two kind of pointed questions. One is going to be the best. One's going to be the worst. What throughout all of that? Because obviously the life has been one just of excitement. There's with kids, with grandkids, there comes a lot of joy. And what, if you had to pinpoint the single greatest, I'll say joyous or most victorious moment, if you could pin it down to 1, 2, or 3 like items, what would they be?
Man, 1, 2, or 3.
Well, just and you don't have to private, but give me a couple of the most the greatest experiences of your life.
Okay. One, when my oldest was born.
Yeah.
You know, that was just.
Yeah.
I was 19 years old, man. I was scared, terrified, and happy at the same time.
That and I love that you mentioned that, because for me, and I was talking to Rebecca about this, my oldest daughter, yesterday. In a man's life, I believe that moment when their first child is born is one of the single most changing, most scary, exciting. It for me, it literally in that moment when I held my child for the first time, it changed my life probably more than any other, even more than marriage. I love my wife. We've been married forever, but I think that moment, that minute right there, I think that changed my life more than any other moment in my life.
I believe that.
You know, it just it's you look back at it and it's like
there's a certain because you look at there's a certain something that you have that guys without children do not have.
Yeah,
they don't understand it.
No.
It's like there's this fear and there's joy and there's
the single. It's like you are in a place where it's like I've got to grow up. I've got to care for a life. I've got to support this life. I've got all of the weight of that for good dads. And now obviously if you're a deadbeat dad or something like that.
And there's a pain when you fall short of that too. You know what I mean?
Brother.
There's a guilt. There's a hurt. You know what I mean? That then you start to I have to overcome this.
Yes. I got to make it up. What am I going to do? How am I going to do it? So what about that's the one of the single greatest, and if we have time we'll jump back to a greatest, but what about most tragic?
Most tragic, I believe the fall of my first marriage.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
I felt defeated.
Yeah.
Because I tried to be the man of God, not fall back, not to run away, not to quit.
Yeah.
And I failed anyway. And it was the first time in my life I experienced true failure. And it was like no matter what I did, I couldn't win. And I think that's when I pretty much gave up on life.
Where? Tell me about that road. The road you traveled.
Oh man, it was just like once you just, I kind of lost faith.
Yeah.
Put it that way. That's the honest truth. I lost faith. You know what I mean? Because it was like it started from diabetes. You know what I mean? First I'm running around saying I'm healed. Next thing you know, I have diabetes.
Yeah.
What happened to me being healed? You know what I mean? Then I'm like, okay, God has got you. God will provide for you. God will give. God will protect you. God. And it's like no matter what I was throwing at this thing, it was like I was failing.
Yeah.
It was like I cannot win this thing. It's like it's not happening. And then what would you say, the adulterous actions was like, wow, okay, it happened once.
Yeah.
I forgave it. It happened twice. I forgave it. And the third time I said, forget it.
Yeah.
It's over. And then it's just like I lost complete faith in the power of God working in my life.
And where did that lead?
That led to the road of destruction.
Yeah.
Because once you turned away from God, once you turned away from all caring about anything, you don't care anymore. You don't care whether you live or die.
Yeah.
You don't care whether you're in the ditch or not in the ditch. You don't even see a ditch. It's home now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's where you live, the pigsty.
The pigs are pretty much good comfort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like the only thing that can pull you out of that darkness is your love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you care about somebody else. You know what I mean? You don't care about you, but you care about them.
So tell me about that. What did that look like for you?
Oh man, when I first, way it worked with me, when I first started coming out of the hole, I was a depressed mess. Mm-hmm. And then I met my second wife, and she was like the sunbeam. Yeah. Whoa, man! You know what I mean? This is what it is. This is what I need. And then I just went chasing after her with adoration. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the thing is, when things turned out to the point where we were both in addiction, you know what I mean? And it's like, I know that, it's like, because I noticed that I was not a changed person on the inside. I just had something better in my life now. Yeah. But I did not have the means of taking care of it. I didn't have the responsibility. I didn't have the way of thinking to take care of this new thing. It's like having a baby and being a young boy, not knowing how to deal with this. So I had to learn. And the thing is, I cared about her sobriety so much that it made me get sober.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was just like, I know if I drink, she'll drink.
Yeah.
So I have to stop drinking. That's the only way I could protect her.
So was for you, was it only drinking? Were there other addictions?
Oh, yeah. Because once you dip into a little bit of sin, you don't stop there. Yeah. And the way the brain of the alcoholic works, it wants more and more. It's never pleased. It's like the love for the flesh, you know? The fleshly love, fleshly desire, it's never pleased. It always wants more and more and more. And then when you get drunk, and then you can't get really drunk no more, you go and you get something else, and you try that and try that. There was cocaine and stuff like that, and then the cigarettes, and then this and that. You just want to die more. You just want to get,
I don't know if you remember, but I preached on that several times, the lust of the flesh, right? Yeah. And how that is just, it's a big gaping hole. And man, you can throw everything, you name it, man, just everything into it, and it's never satisfying. It always tells you it's going to be satisfying.
That's right.
If you just give me that one more drink, if you just give me that, then I'll be good. I'll be good.
And it comes in different forms. It says it comes in a woman, a drug, and alcohol. If I just had the right woman, then my life would be good. That's a lie.
Flesh is a liar, dude.
It is a liar. You know what I mean? I mean, your dad used to say the carnal mind and God's spirit enemies. They don't click.
So here you are now, right? And I just want to kind of summarize to bring us to the point. You've had 4 beautiful girls. The relationship you had with your first wife explodes. An ugly divorce, leading you to a place of addiction and things like that. You meet your second wife. She becomes the sunbeam in your life. And then, but you're trying to take care of her, she's trying to take care of you, and this kind of leads you to a place where you are, both of you are struggling with the addictions, and you said some key things. Bring me from that point. You're both struggling with addiction. What happened?
God is what happened. Because God never leaves you, never forsakes you. And this right here, I am mad at God. Why have you forgotten me? Why have you left me? Why have you forsaken me? Have you forgotten me? Don't you know I'm your son? Why? And he goes, and he's saying the same thing back to me. I can hear him. Don't you know that you're my son? Why have you left me? Why have you forsaken me? And then he's calling me and tugging at me and tugging at me. This thing does not feel right. I'm getting drunk, but I'm guilty because of it. You know what I mean? I'm smoking a cigarette, I'm guilty of it. I feel guilty. I feel condemned. I feel convicted. You know what I mean?
So what broke? At what point did you say enough is enough?
Well, enough is enough is when I went to jail for the 3rd time in the year. This time I was locked away for a month down in Wilmington.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my wife is leaving me. She's getting divorce paperwork and everything like that. My daughters are gone. They don't want nothing to do with me. I'm about to lose my wife. Everything's spitting on me. Yeah. I'm in shame. I'm not part of anything. You know what I mean? I'm nothing but dirt and mud. And then in that quiet place, in that secret, in that point where I took a knee.
Yeah.
When I was in that jail, God spoke. God breathed into me. You remember me? And then these songs used to pop up in my head. Remember when you couldn't wait to show up early to find your place because you didn't want to miss a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hear the letter from God playing over and over my head, my child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know me, but isn't that, you know what I mean? And all these things are calling at me. And then God sends word to someone else, like a cellmate, who's struggling with crazy or addiction, you know what I mean? And he's just like, he's lost all control. He's known God. He doesn't know why he's in all this stuff. And it's like God trying to tell me, why are you doing this?
Yeah. So you come to yourself, like the prodigal son.
Yeah.
Right? You decide to make the journey home. Yeah. Right? Obviously a struggle. Obviously difficult.
Oh, yeah.
What I mean, to anybody who's joining us, what kind of encouragement would you say about that journey?
It's like you said, it's a hard journey. In the Bible, every mighty man had to go through these horrible things.
Your journey of sobriety and meetings. What for information for individuals?
Yeah, like the first thing.
What do you do?
The first thing that happened was, all right, I need help.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that a lot of people at church can't understand what I'm going through. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there are people who do understand what I'm going through. Okay, I need to go to that place. So I started seeking help. Looking for places, looking for something, some sort of device, something, anything. I'm at my desperate end. Pride is gone, dignity is gone. I am crying out, right? So I went to Sandalwood, right? And I met people, and I was struggling. I was quiet, and the Lord, I'd listen. You know what I mean? I had to shut my pride off. I had to shut my mouth down. I had to shut what I knew down, and I needed to relearn everything. I needed to learn how to live.
So now, how long have you been sober for?
Like 8 months.
8 months sober. That's awesome. And how many meetings do you go to a week?
Bro, I'm there. Look, God is either everything or he's nothing.
Yeah,
that's what we say. I'm there at 7 in the morning. I'm there at noon. I'm there at 5:30. So in the beginning, my first 90 days, I was there at 8:30. Yeah. I did 90 meetings in 30 days, and they try to get you to do 90 and 90.
Yeah.
But that's how desperate I was.
Well, and I love that. I love that level of desperation because I used to minister. Just as an example, I used to, when I was a youth pastor, I would minister with young men who were struggling with pornography, and they'd come to me and they're like, "I can't get a handle on my flesh. This is so crazy. How do I do it?" And I'd tell them, I was like, "If you really get rid of your computer, right?" And that I was like, just go throw it away. How desperate are you really? To stop. If you know that that's what's causing you to fall, whatever that is, then get it out of your life. And I love that. I love when we come to that level of desperation where we hate the sin so much that literally, if we got to go to 3 meetings a day for 90 days, 30 days, whatever it is, we will do whatever it takes.
And I have to tell that to new guys now. You know what I mean? Take your if, ands, and your buts and all this crap and your excuse. Because if it's important to you, you'll find a way. Well, if it's not, you'll find an excuse.
And the kicker is, it's not just the sobriety that's important. It's the wife. It's the kids. The grandkids. All of those things that we sacrifice oftentimes on the altar of the addiction. Well, again, whatever the addiction is. And know that man is often addicted not just to alcohol or to drugs or to cigarettes, but man can be addicted to work. A man can be addicted to play. Man can be addicted. All of these things that we can be addicted to, and oftentimes when we allow ourselves to allow something else to be number one, other than the one who should be number one. And just getting that realignment back into focus. And now I look at you and I see, the impact that you're having at the meetings. I see the impact that you're having at the church. I see the impact that you're having with your wife, with your kids, and the testimony that is all because, you're walking it out one day at a time, and I think, honestly, Greg, that's just one of the keys, just walking it out.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a young man, 16 years old, messed up. I was, as much as I didn't want to be the stereotypical pastor's kid, I was, right? And my dad and I were sitting in the car having a conversation, and I was like, Dad, how do you do it? How do you keep this area of your life in check? And he said, son, I do it one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I get through this one day. I don't worry about tomorrow.
Nope.
Don't worry about next week, next year. Yep. I get through this day. I make a decision right now. That today, right? I'm good. Tomorrow, I'm not going to speak for tomorrow. He's like, I'm not going to speak for tomorrow. I'm not going to speak for next week. But for today, I've made the decision that I'm going to stay clean. Dude, great stuff. You got anything else you want to add before I close?
Well, the main thing what I was going to say about that is that the substance is quitting the substance is the easiest part. The hard part.
That's so good.
Is getting sober-minded.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Being sober in your heart, in your life, in your mind, all this stuff that leads us to that. The selfishness, the self-pity, the resentments, the unforgiveness and stuff like that. That's the battle.
Yeah.
That's the battle.
And day by day.
Day by day.
I mean, what do they say? The struggle is real. And it is. And I think we're naive when we wake up in the morning and we think, oh, gee, today's not going to be a struggle. No, every day's going to be a struggle.
Going to be a struggle.
Every day you're going to have to put aside your flesh. You're going to have to put aside your pride, your selfishness.
Yeah.
Man, so good. And it's, I know we're out of time. I'll close in just 1 second, but I see individuals who are in the body of Christ who are the me. I want, and they don't want their life to be a struggle. But the kicker is that reality, as a Christian, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we do wrestle against principalities and powers and thoughts and intents and all of these things. So to wake up in the morning and say, I don't want to have to wrestle, I think that's not just a cop-out, but it's taken a position of naivety, being naive, and opens the door. Because if we're not going to struggle with those things are just going to overpower us.
Yep.
The flesh, the desires, all of that stuff. And so
sometimes you're going to come out of a battle limping.
But fight.
Yeah.
Again, whatever the fight is with, if it's with pride or if it's with lust or alcohol or drugs, the key is get up in the morning not saying I'm going to throw up a white flag and not fight. No, I'm going to go for it and I'm going to fight this stuff. I may limp.
Yeah.
I may get knocked down.
Whenever you've done everything you can to stand.
Yep. You stand.
Stand some more.
You stand and what do? You stand.
Yeah.
And you stand and you stand and you stand. So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that phileo that you and I have, that brotherly love, that camaraderie. And we've been through some battles. We've seen some stuff. But I believe in our relationship is that much more solid and strong because of the stuff we walked through.
Yeah, and the experiences, the relationship.
Yeah, it is.
It's the camaraderie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? No matter where I go, no matter where I find myself, I always find myself home.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, and to be able to trust in that and rely upon that is and the testimony. I think if I had to identify one of your key characteristics that I admire is not just your loyalty, but it's your availability and friendship. We were talking about it before the show today. Somebody called you up, hey, Greg, can I get a ride to this meeting that's taking place? I think it's your just availabiliality to say, hey, you need something, I'm here.
A friend that's closer than a brother.
A friend that's closer than a brother. Yeah. Great stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, guys, that's about all the time that we have for today. But before I let you go today, I want to give you our rule number 62 of rules to live by in the South. We talked about grits last time. We've talked about saying, hey, howdy, how you doing? The time before that, this is a good one because this rule to live by in the South, it's one of the distinctions that kind of make Southerners different. And that is, if you're a man or a boy, dare I even say with this rule to live by in the South, this one, it almost is a rite of passage into manhood. It is one of the things that a man will begin doing, or a boy will begin doing, as he begins to take the transition from boyhood into manhood. And that is, well, you begin to open the doors for the ladies. And it's an interesting thing because as a boy begins to become a man, he opens the door for the ladies. And it's almost like God has given Southern individuals this distinct ability to be able to tell when somebody's walking behind them. Follow me now. Anytime I'm walking into a store, I have the ability to discern if somebody's walking behind me. And if they are, I automatically open the door for the person who's walking behind me. It's like this supernatural ability I have to distinguish if somebody's walking behind me, and then I always, male or female, open the door for that individual who is walking behind me. Look, guys, it's just simply one of the things we do, whether we're walking into the grocery store, walking into the office, walking into church, especially into church, we always open the door for the individual who's walking behind us, and that times 10 if that individual happens to be a female. Some people may say, hey, we don't do that in this day and age, but down here, down south, friends, we still do. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks once again to Greg for joining me today. And until next time, listen, live life with all you have.